Hi everyone, welcome to my our technical school channel. So I am MD SHAMRAT MIAH. Today I'm going to show you how can we use Isnull keywords on our SQL server, and with also what's the difference between COALESCE and Isnull. So for this, I want to do something in practical before I say you full description. So actually, the Isnal and college are the same, but the difference is for, from both of them, the main point is argument listed in our code, because the Isnal is can't take too much arguments if you want to give. Like I said, I have a two tables, so I'm writing in here select all from employee details. Here is my select all the employee details, and if I select this statement and if I execute this, then it will show me those information. Now in this moment, if you check this table, that here is a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 column, it has 7 column, and the last two column, especially the last two column, has a few null values. So what does the is null keywords will do if we have any null values in our records? So basically the is null and COALESCE, both of keywords, is never count the null values. It will those both keywords will try to take exceptional values. But if you have such like as say uh, anything like as if you have null values in your column, if you have your null values in your column, so it will take the null values, but the isNull and COALESCE is always try to take the full values, take take the full values first, and if you have any null values, then the is null it will take in last. So like this way, that if I write in here in my SQL server like this, select, I'm just showing you something in here with our is null. Now select age. Okay, select age. Okay, select age from uh, employee details. Okay, and if I select this and execute, then it is showing to us that in age, here is the 8 and 9 has the two null values, 8 and 9 number. But if I put in here, I guess is null, then what happens then? It is saying to us that the message is showing like this, that is null function require two arguments. Okay, so I can give in here age and position. Okay, so if I execute this, just a second please, I should write another instrument without is null. Okay, age and position from employee details. Okay, if I execute this, what's happening here? So without is null, it's showing to us that number 6 has null values, and this in the same case from our position records, the number 6 has also null. But if I check in age in number 5, it has declared 25, but the other side, the position on number 5, it is null. Okay, so at this moment, uh, and if you check in here like this, number 9 without Isnull keywords, it's showing to us that number 9 has also in the same like as number 6, there is no values from them, age and position both. So what happened if I use Isnull in my second, from my second results? Okay, so from here, my age number has one value and another is null. So what's happened in my, which number was that? That number was 25 and null. It was 5, fifth a number ID. So if I check in here, fifth, so my is null is not taking the positions value. It is taking the not null values only. Okay, so from this logic with our isnull keyword, so it is a very uh, clear crystal that uh, isnull is always trying to take not null values first. But what is the second condition? So if you get any values from your two arguments that those both are in the same null, no values, so it have to take that null values then, because it has no options, no choice there. Okay, so number 6 with our is null keyword is showing us null. Why it is showing a null? Because we know that the is null is never will take null values. It always it will be always choice not null values. But why in number 6 is showing null values? So there should be a logic, and the logic is from those your both records, both columns, here is no values, so it has no options, alternative options there. So I'm going to check without isnull functions. So number 6 has null, and in position it has also null. So null has for these two columns, one is age is null and position is null. So if I use in here number ID number 6, so it has no choice to take any not null values. So that's why, that's the only one reason that the 6 is null. Okay, and if you check in here that number 9 is null and null, if I check in my is null, it will be same. Where is my number 9? So number 9 is also null in my is null results. Okay, but here is the something, number 8. Number 8 has the age is 25, but the position is null. So if I use my isnull keywords on my number 8 number ID, so it will show us a 25. So from these videos, we know that, sorry, from these uh, isnull keywords and from our this lesson, we know that the isnull function is always have a first choice, and the first choice is it don't want to take the null values. But from the both arguments, from the two arguments, if there is no value, just one is null and the opposite side is also the same null, it has no choice to take without null anything. Okay, and what's the difference between Coalesce? Okay, so I'm doing that. One thing that we can't use more than two arguments in our isnull. If I use in here ID, so what it will be, it is going to show us that then the isnull function requires two arguments, so we can't use more than two. We have to use minimum two and not more than two. Okay, in isnull. But if I use in here, but if I want to use more than two, then we can use this Coalesce keywords. It's the same, just differences for our arguments and declaration. So we can use lots of argument declaration, more than two, what you want. So age, position, and if I use in here ID, from employee details. Just a second, please. Yep, I have to be putting here semicolon. If I try to execute, here is no problem. Here is no problem. And the most important thing is I always telling in my this session video that Isnull and Coalesce are same, just the difference between in a one point, and that is the argument declaration. Isnull can't declaration, we can't declaration with Isnull more than or minimum than 2, but Coalesce we can use more than 2. But in here is the twist, and the twist is in here that if we use Coalesce keywords in our SQL server, so it means that when we try to Coalesce keywords in our SQL server, so the most interesting thing is in my session video that we are declare here the 3 columns, and the 3 columns are age, position, and ID. So I'm always telling in my session video that the Coalesce keywords and Isnull keywords is almost same, and the Isnull and Coalesce is always will find not null values at first, and if by chance accidentally if they don't have any options, alternative options, without choose a null value, so at that moment, only at that moment, they will uh, showing us, they will give the result like as a null values. But when in my second video, in my second statement, when I put in here the ID as my third as our third argument, so at that point my Coalesce keywords will search the not null values, and if it finds any not null value, then it will show us. So the age is one of our records, the position is one of our records, and the ID is our one of another record. So at this moment uh, the Coalesce keywords has a has a one more records, and the records name is ID. When the Coalesce will check ID with age, ID with position, and if here is no null value, so so the Coalesce must be show us, must be give us the not null value, and that's the point. It's now happening with in this statement. So if we execute this, here will be no not null values. So this Coalesce is giving us all. Here is no null values. So at this point, the Coalesce get in every IDs with the values, and so here is no null values. So I think that's from my videos that it's a very clear concept session that why we will use Isnull and why we can't use Isnull, and uh, and when we should use Coalesce function, and how Coalesce works and Isnull works. I hope that if you practice with your on SQL server after seeing my session videos, then it will be very clear concept understanding mood on your brain. It will be very helpful for you then. So you have to must exercise on your SQL server. So I hope that this video it will be very helpful to everyone. Thank you very much, and I hope that from my next video I will be show another most interesting things about SQL server. Thank you very much.